Hey there everyone, this is Yui. Welcome to episode 21 of Glacial Awakening. Today we're going to finish up chapter 5 and start on some chapter 6. So let's get to it. Now when we left off we were doing the digital miner and the Arcane Crystal Ore. So the digital miner, bring that up real quick. It did not autocraft. If you want to fix that for the robot recipe, the personal chest messed it up. Just click this little ingot here so it looks like iron and copper, and that'll allow ore dictionary substitutions, and then make your recipe with that. Do the same thing for the digital miner, which the logistical sorters messed up, and then it will be okay. The reason I don't keep this on all the time is because it will literally substitute things that you may not want. In my case, usually it's pink slime when I'm just auto crafting a bunch of stuff, or various ingots that, you know, I don't want it to. Anyways, let's go, as I figured this out. And by figured out, I mean I got something that sort of works. So we'll give it a shot. But you're going to need this stuff is what I'm using. I am using the three materials, which I will be adding to filters. I have 3 filters. One will be for each material. I've got a few slabs just to hold in the liquid, just in case. Got 2 redstone comparators, which will be used for the droppers. I have a placer to place the mysterious dust, a block detector to detect the liquid. I've got a fluid placer, fluid collector to move it, and I got a range collector to pick up the output of the crystal. I'll go grab one of those. I made a few of them up. Alright, so if we just take all this junk, I have my amplifying tube set up. Under the amplifying tube is going to go the fluid collector facing up, just like that. I am going to put a conduit right next to it. That's going to feed into the fluid placer. There we go. Just going to set that up first and tell this to extract, always insert. There you go. That way it moves over. Alright, so the placer I'm going to put right here on top of this conduit. Before that though, let me set this up. This is going to be set to active without a signal, and this color is going to be green. And then I'm just going to put the placer right on top of it, facing there. And the slabs just go around it, so that way when the mysterious dust gets placed, it converts. If the collector is a little slow, it doesn't just run amok. Alright. Go down here for a second and change this to insert. We're going to give it one of the filters, and this is going to be whitelist mysterious dust. Okay. And I'll keep that. Range collector, I'm just going to drop here, because it's going to convert it over here, so that's within the 8 blocks or so. I'm just going to connect that straight to output, but I'm going to change the color to brown. You could use whatever color, just don't use the same color for this as you do for extracting from your inventory. I have the ME interface here. This already has a recipe. You're going to have to manually make it, but I'll show you real quick when we get back inside. Alright. Over here in this little hole, we're going to put a block detector. So I was wrong about this before. It is reverse what I said. So when you see the red, it is not outputting a signal. When it's closed is when it outputs the signal. Just seems a little backwards, but that's alright. So it should look like that so far. We're going to take our redstone conduits. Just going to drop them right there. And we're going to put droppers right on top of them. Let me just dig down a couple to configure them. Oh. Actually, you can do it from up here, I guess. So you're going to need your wrench. And when you're looking at the conduit, make sure you're looking at the very top part of... When you place one down, make sure you're looking at this top part. As for the redstone ones, you can force them to connect to a block. And that's what we're going to do. So we're just going to right click the top on both of them. And so if we go down, it'll look like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to switch these. So this one's set to input. That means it is taking in a redstone signal. So these ones we're going to switch to output. Change them to red. And that's it for that. Alright. Now I've got two comparators, which are just going to come straight out of these two droppers. So if they have any item in them at all, this is going to fire off. Oh no, it won't. It'll give off a little signal. Oh no, so I was right. That does give off a... Let me get a lamp. I've been playing with the knots and... There. So it... Oh yeah, okay. So when you see red, it gives off a signal. Which is what we want, because when these have a signal, they deactivate. That way they can hold items until they get a signal. Alright, so we've got the two redstones. Let's just put a wire in front of each. This one here, input, but we're going to change it to blue. This one here is input, but we're going to change it to green. And then we're just going to run a wire right over here to this conduit. Now when we click here, we'll have signal. We're going to put in our AND filter. We're going to change this to, what was it? Green and blue, which are our two colors. So now, when each of these has an item, doesn't matter what it is, this should not extract. Let me take this away for a second. But as soon as one of them is empty, or both, there we go, it's when both are empty, it will place the dust. Or it's when, this one's empty. Yeah, well, it was working, so we'll see. We put this amplifying tube back up here, and now we just need to run some conduits around. We're going to connect up this dropper, that dropper, and we're just going to run it to the crate. Just for sake of preventing confusion, let's just take these off. This is going to be insert with a filter and sure, cobble. And this will be insert with a filter, and that'll be the Zen crystal. Both whitelist. Alright, is that everything? I think that's everything. So let's just, yeah, sure, whatever. All right, so your pattern is just going to be simple. It's going to be your do the mysterious dust, then I think it's the Zen crystal, then the cobblestone gets Arcane Crystal Ore. Where's it the other way around? Let's do... That's the crystal. Let's do the other way around. That way it should be last. Cobble, then Zen. And that should go here. I suppose. Let's see if it works. Clear that out. And then I'll put it back. Alright. So we should... Now this might get clogged the first time or so. Alright. Oh, and keep your magnet off when you're near this, or when the fluid places here and it drops the items, it might mess it up. But that's it. The alternative, if you want to make this super simple, is you can just feed these droppers. You can export to them the cobblestone and the Zen crystals, and just put the recipe for mysterious dust. That way when it places the dust, and you don't have to worry about the item routing and the comparators and the redstone signal and stuff like that. But I'm going to leave it like this because this works and it's good enough for me. So with these, oh, I forgot to tell it always active. There you go. All right. So we've got a couple options. I'm just making sure it's cleared. Is there a zombie down here? Ooh. I think there is. So the problem with the digital miner is it leaves holes everywhere. So I need to relight up the underground. But it's not important. So for these arcane crystals, we can just simply smelt them. So I'm going to make a backup recipe to just smelt them. That way it can always work. And this will go into the resourceful furnace. I also made some extra molecular or more interfaces. That way it's a little less cramped in there. But your other option is you can take them and you can manually put them down. And fortune. So that was what, 14 of them. I got 37 crystals. So if you want to have a ton of them like that, go for it. So with that, we should be able to craft... Oh no, we didn't finish up that recipe, which is smelting that. There. No. Go there. There we go. So now we're just missing charcoal. Yeah, we sure are. I have a ton of these charcoal carrots, so what I'm going to do is a simple crafting recipe. 1 carrot goes into 3 chunks. Then 8 chunks goes into 1 charcoal. You can do this with a lot of the charcoal foods, and I get those because they are on, what is this? This little soil here. the magmatic. If I use my smelting thing and right click, I will always get charcoal carrots. Just like that. See, they're all charcoal. If I do like my sword, most of them are not. That's a little tip. I use that to usually repair my tools. I just go there and just right click the field. Anyways, now we should be able to make that glass. There. And that was the last thing we were missing, I believe, for the Fission Multiblock. And there we go, we got the glass. So we should be able to make the Fission Controller. And we already have the casing. So that's it. All we were missing was the controller. There's that one piece of glass. I'm going to be short casing. No, I made 2 extra. Okay, we're good. There we go. That's chapter 5 done. Oh, a little delayed there. So now we're good to start chapter 6. Which looks like a bunch of miscellaneous things. But before that, let's go. Do I want to? Yeah, I suppose we should just set this up. There's a hole in the ground here. So if I remember correctly, this is a 5 by 5. I don't want to kill this light. So we'll go here. That are good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something like that. Or I can put it on the wire. There we go. So I think this was pretty simple, like so. Right? 5 by 5. Yeah. Fill in the bottom. 2, 3, 4, 5. Gotta fill in the walls. And we'll see if I remember this off from antimatter chemistry. And then in the middle goes your 3 cores. Hey, look at that. There we go. So what this will do, if you're not familiar with it, is it will take an element. What do I have? Well, I've got this. So what it does is it divides the element by 2, and then it'll give you, in this case, I believe it'll give you 12 and 11. Is that right? 12 and 11, yeah. So it divides it by 2, which is 11.5, or no, yeah, 11.5, and then it just takes that decimal and it puts it to one of them, so you get 11 and 12. So if you're trying to figure it out real quick. So each of these has an atomic number, so you can't break down hydrogen because there's nothing under that. So the lowest one you can break down is helium, which is an even one, so you'll get 2 number 1s, which is hydrogen. You break down, say, cadmium, you'll get 2 number 24s, which is, there you go, chromium. And that'll work for all of them but hydrogen. So if you just put it in here, it'll go, break it down, and you'll get, there you go. And so you can keep breaking them down if you want. This will get you 2 of whatever 6 is. Just carbon. You can break down carbon. There you go, you get some lithium. So it's a way to break down chemicals to lower the atomic number. If we make the fusion reactor, it adds the number, so it does the opposite. So it'll be useful for getting this done. Which these numbers are not super high. You only need 1,000 of each, so I might actually go ahead and do that. But let's start with some of this random stuff. Let's see what we got. We'll just start in the top left, I suppose. We'll make recipes for all of these up. Oh, we already got that. Did I get that? Yes, okay. Look at that. 4 small quad minget. Alright, let's see what we got to deal with. I have no idea here. Oh. Okay. Sure. Bunch of other stuff I'm not familiar with. What is this? Iron nuggets. Okay, that is not as bad as I thought. So we need the furnace. So we gotta do a nether star. Oh boy. We could do this. No. You know, let's let me be back in a moment. I would like to make a farm or something. We'll see. I'll be back in a second. Alright, and we're back. So there's gonna be a lot to this. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is summon a wither skeleton. In order to do that, we're going to need this altar of birthing. And so for that, we already have this stuff, but we've not seen this Euphoria token before, which is just a token of joy with the spirit of calling inside your offering table. So let's go ahead and try that out. Throw that in there, and I'm only going to do one. What is this? On top? I don't even remember. There it goes. And then it's going to drop from the sky somewhere. There it is. Alright, so with this guy, we can come back over here and make this. Alright. Did that unlock something in the book? Alter. I don't see it. There it is. Okay. Now, requires can be attained by breeding passive animals together where there is a slight excess of aura. Alright. So we're going to need this. You tell me what blocks you need. Well, let's just go and drop this over by my chickens. I put some trees over here just to help it along. I'm going to put this right there. Sure. So let me go figure out what each of these blocks are and clear out the area, and I'll be back again in a second. Alright, and we're back. So you're going to need hay. Oh, these need to be bricks, right? Yes. Infused bricks, which are infused rocks, which are just skystone, non-smelted version of skystone through your altar. And then you're going to need ancient planks. So you need 16 hay, 16 bricks, and 4 of the planks. Let's see. This middle block underneath, I just have a piece of dirt. There's nothing special there. And then on top goes your altar. There. Done. That's what it looks like. So now, before we can use this, we need to get the... what is it? The spirits. But the book said that you need a slightly higher... Am I going blind? Or was it on the next page? Oh, it's because I looked at it. There it is. So it said you need a slight excess of aura, but these trees, they only kind of balance out the aura. So I've got a canopy diminisher, which I'll just put it here. What this does is if a tree, like an oak tree, were to grow, you know, the super big ones, if it were to do that instead, it will prevent that and make it grow as a normal tree, and thus feeding aura in to the area instead. So I'm just going to plant a bunch of trees and we'll see. It should just... it's going to be really hard to tell right now. Oh, yep, see, okay. So I got a little bit. So we've got a slight excess of aura. Does that apply over here? Yeah, sure. We'll try it. Alright, so I got a bunch of chickens. Come here, chickens. Let's just feed a few of them. Anything? Oh, nothing. Alright, won't me be back then. See, reread it and stuff. Alright, I got a couple. I don't know if I was unlucky or not. I just moved the canopy over here, get it a little higher maybe. But maybe we'll get more. Let's see. Yeah, there they are. So I might not have had enough aura in the area. So let's get rid of all of this. Get out of here. Alright, so for this next part, we're going to need the mob imprisonment tool. Oh, whatever. Doesn't matter. Alright. So if I'm not mistaken, it's just drop the bone, obsidian, and the spirit on top. Maybe. Get going. Get your tool ready, and there it is. Alright. Now I've got one, so we can make as many as we want. Let's do the same thing. Put it in here. Always active, sure. Oh, well, maybe I should move this. Hey, look at that. We got a skull already. So with our first skull, what I'm going to do is make a data model. And let me go get my little deep learner thing. There we go. Let me just put this somewhere else. That way they don't go flying. This, that, and that. Right? Yeah, good. So I'm going to do this Actually, that's good enough. Basic is perfectly fine. So, but I'm going to do this a little longer just to level up my data thing, and I'll be back in a moment. Alright, so I got my thing to self-aware. It did not take long because the sword gives double gained. And I got a ton of matter, pristine matter doing it, which if you run that through your loot fabricator, you can get 18 skulls per, so I only did some of them, so I have about 180 skulls. Got a stack with me. What we're going to do now is fight the Wither. Because we're going to need to fight it, like 4 times? So for this, if you didn't watch my Academy series, this is going to be a 3x5. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our illumination wand and shift right click on each block. It looks a little glitch right now, but if you look at the one probe, it'll say it's from Astral Sorcery. And then once you do it for all of them, yeah, they're all Astral Sorcery now. I'm going to end up relogging in a moment, I guess. I'm going to, this one here does not belong. It goes here instead. And then we're just going to build this up. Like so. So this is where you can stand. So you can place your sands on the back here. There's going to be a hole here. So you can place the skulls. And here's just a place you can stand. Alright, and now for this top layer. There, do the middle 3 first. You can't access them from the outside, but make this layer too thick. And that's what it should look like. But hang on, I'll be back. I'm going to relog my game and see if it fixes the visual thing. I'll be back in a second. Alright, so this is what it should look like when it's done. It should be very hard to see and completely see-through. Shift right click it, it'll turn back to normal. So they're supposed to be very transparent like this, at least during the day. But with this, what we can do is set up a little, put our soul sand in. We come up top here, we can put in our skulls. And there we go. He'll blow up. He'll damage some blocks in the back usually, but he'll be stuck in there. And then let's go to town. There we go. So with the first nether star, like I said before, data model, nether star, you get your wither. Put him in here. Let's put that in the offhand for now. And let's do it again. You can do the crafting recipe version if you want, but I recommend at least getting a basic model first. So it's super trivial doing it this way. What's that? Voodoo Poppet. Prevents death from starvation. Cool. So I'm going to do that more between episodes. But your other option is now that you have skulls, you can of course craft it with the extraterrestrial matter. It's just as easy. But if you were to get matter, you can get the nether stars so much easier. It's just a bit of power drain. Because I think the wither was 2000 RF. But that's how we get our nether stars. So all that because I just wanted to craft What is this? A scepter. I don't even know what it does, but we're crafting it. Just because. And here. That way we could say we did at least something in chapter 6. Processing the obsidian. Or what is it, in the furnace? Yep. That furnace does a lot of work. And there we go. So we got the first part of chapter 6 done. Like I said, I got no idea what that scepter does. But we'll see, maybe. Anyways then, that's about it for this episode. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye. So real quick, I was playing with the scepter, and if you shoot it like a bow and it hits a mob, it'll smite the area and light them on fire. So I just thought it was pretty funny. Oh, he's gone. That's what it does. So it's a weapon for smiting your foes. Oh well. Anyways, bye bye.